All right. So right here,
All right, so I think I'm gonna give them a countdown and we'll get it started.
all right.
You guys ready? All right, three, two, one, go.
All right. So one of the first things that is kind of interesting of this race that Joe does, Joe, I think Joe recently started doing this, is that on the second screen, Joe does not get the second whip upgrade until at the end of the second screen.
The game's a lot more
And
generous
I
with
don't
the
even, I'm not even exactly sure why he's doing that,
opportunities, and you also
but
get
it does make it so, it does make it appear as if he is moving faster than I am. Because he's right now he's slightly ahead of me by like almost a whole second. But he will catch back up as soon as he gets his whip upgrade. I don't know if he's doing that just for the purpose of being ahead just for a few seconds here, or if he has a certain reasoning for that. Yeah, he just got the whip upgrade right there.
events are all scripted out too. So
I
these
don't know. I'm
critical
not really sure. I have to
cross,
look into that
one of the
exactly why
earlier
he's doing
uses
that,
of
but
it,
we'll
and they're going to be using it
see
forever
there.
unless they take a death at some point and have to switch to backup strats. Just the cross with the triple shot multiplier is by far the most efficient way of
Joe
using
had
it.
his first little mistake right here. He just threw a cross without jumping. Just a small little error. Joe opted out to not trying to do the clip, and I got the clip. It's still very risky. It's probably one of the scariest things I do in the entire run.
Sure. So a new feature in Castlevania 4 is that they have these rings that you can swing off of, and you can use those to do apologies thing right there. Two screens backward, click through the wall, and that saves the amount of time. You're also gonna notice they're gonna be
Not
picking
much else to say. The rest of the stage, I think we both did a pretty good job for the rest of the stage. I think I had a slightly slow Coronat. I could have, or not Coronat, but uh,
cross because
Rodane is what I meant to say.
crosses the
I had a
line.
slightly slow Rodane.
And they're doing more damage boosts off these Medusa hits. You're using the omnidirectional whip in order to set it up too.
It's a pretty good stage one from Paul, almost flawless.
Joe's is really good too, so if you're not getting the clip.
Yeah, my Rodane was just slightly slow.
Yeah.
Rodane jumped up for Joe. It's kind of bad. So I got a fairly decent lead going out of stage one here.
I don't think we did a roll call yet, by the way.
Mainly because of the wall clip. Most likely in the fact that I didn't make any other mistakes anywhere.
Alright, so there's a bit of randomness at the start of stage 2 with these hands that pop out of the ground.
Oh yeah, right there, I actually jumped on the ground instantaneously, avoiding getting grabbed by that hand. I thought that was pretty sweet.
Points with hands.
Because you can avoid getting grabbed by the hands if you jump instantly right when you land. So I kind of lucked out with that.
Crosses is that they going forward and backwards will move the entire
Yeah,
screen.
they also move slowly enough too to like hitting multiple enemies while you're moving is difficult too.
So a lot of times you'll see these two runners that will be anticipating a lot of enemies, these flying bird enemies that are coming up on Paul's screen. He's gonna take them out before they even follow.
Yeah, stage two is pretty much a breeze, not much.
Most notable
I
enemies
don't
in
think
this
much
area
else
are
happened on
the
stage
boss who
two.
have two different jumping patterns.
I think we both, me and Joe both did a safe strat at the river section later on, but that's really about it. In stage two.
Favorites, Paul and Joe. These two guys appear on the top of their speedboards, so they know the score, and it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, this game just has a lot more movement tech to it than Castlevania 1 because of just a lot more options we have, like being able to adjust your jump height midair.
I had a slightly faster Medusa, just slightly.
It translates into lots of different ways to go fast, also just a challenge as well with that tech.
Yeah, there's a lot of different varieties of strats in this game too. You'll probably see a few spots throughout the run where Joe and Paul will go about the same thing.
Yeah, so this is what we took safe here, these jumps here, because normally you would do one frame jumps to do that section a little bit faster, but we both took that a little bit safe.
It feels
Joe got kind of close right there at those spikes, just a little bit close.
hard centering this entering 2-3s that he just walked right through the end.
Now the water they're walking through is actually a floating current, so while they're on the ground right now, it's pushing them forward. It'll eventually switch to going backwards here, and then they'll start jumping to not get pushed back by the water.
And the orange spikes.
I got knocked back by the green monster there at the end of stage 2. Probably the first bad mistake I had.
And stage 3 is arguably one of the hardest stages. It really tests all your abilities in this one.
So the Mudmen in 3-1 have random patterns, so just kind of depending on which pattern they get, they might try to just jump straight over them or do a downward whip to break them up, which makes it a little safer, but also creates some lag.
We both had the exact same Mudmen pattern.
If you hit them, if you don't break it up and get hit, it'll
It's kind of interesting.
the damage boost dropping from stage 3 is extremely light. They end up with 1 HP at 120 halfway through the stage.
So I got the fuzzball boost
Hitting that fuzzball to increase and inflate the damage boost up a little bit.
and did all that stuff pretty good, but probably, in my opinion, the most embarrassing part of the entire run for me is right here. Is not getting. It took me forever to get this ring glitch, and Joe clearly passed me up by a lot too. This is by far the most ugliest part of the run. And what agitates me the most about all that is that normally never happens. Like, I normally don't make that many mistakes. It does not normally take me that long to do that ring glitch.
Whipping down.
Really, really bad. I think that was worse than the chandelier death.
Even if it takes multiple attempts to get it.
Joe got a nasty knockback there at the Merman going into that section.
Basically, what's happening is every time you hit them, you're pushing you away from it. So on that particular hit it along second level.
We both did the safe strat here. 1 cross, 3 whips. It's pretty much guarantee you get past this guy.
Towards the top of this 360-degree circle, it actually gives you a nice little upward 80 stones that you jump, which lets you climb up to higher platforms, which you'll see coming up in a couple screens here.
There's a very minor ring glitch jump that you can do at the end of this screen.
So Joe kind of fumbled a little bit right here. He fell down, had jumped back up. I got the ring snap there. It's kind of dangerous, but my success rate's been pretty good at that lately. We both missed the last ring on stage 3. We both missed that.
It allows you to ring glitch and jump up and skip having to go around saving a couple seconds, but it's really
That just goes to show how hard that ring glitch is. We both missed it. I think it's one of the hardest things to do in the game consistently. We both got a good quick kill on the Vipers.
Nice.
I kind of caught back up a little bit after my ring glitch mistakes I had.
I believe what's going on there too is just some really tight cross placement, hitting both of the Viper heads at the same time in order to just absolutely destroy them.
The longer that fight goes on, the laggier it gets.
Joe kind of lost a little bit of time right here. Got stuck on the stairs a little bit. Had a little extra lag there.
Stage 4 is one of the longer stages too that I like to kind of think of it as this is in the game to show off the power of the Super Nintendo. This was a pretty early Super Nintendo game. You've seen that we'll get to like 4-2 and 4-3.
We both had a pretty fast Plexel fight.
seen him in real life found couches at GDQs and here he is in video game form.
It's okay. We're cool. And I believe the falling, I guess peanuts, as they're called by the community, are a little bit random for the coaxial fight. But other than that, it's a pretty trivial boss with the cross.
First with a couple mode 7 screens. Wouldn't be a SNES game without it.
I'm a very big fan of how Joe does this screen too.
Yeah, this showcases the way to do this section different ways. Pretty good.
My personal favorite way to do this screen is just to stand and let the whip fall below, and the Medusas run into that, but that is not recommended for a speed run because it creates lag.
We have time for a donation to the stage.
All right, sounds good. We have a $75 donation from Mr. Wald, who says, always happy to donate and be a part of this event. Shout outs to Boo Axel and the other couch crew for their excellent commentary of these grave runs.
So 4-3, the mode 7 background creates quite a bit of lag too, especially when the skeletons are spawning.
And killing any of these skeletons will just create even more lag.
That's why they want to get the invincibility potion, just walk through.
Both did that section pretty good. Joe did it slightly faster.
Alright, so do you want to explain the zip?
And we both got the zip. I actually did my old zip strategy
Time save.
because I felt more confident with it.
Basically, they are going to.
But Joe did a slightly faster zip than I did.
To do exactly that.
I think overall Joe's a better zipper than I am.
Nice. That's frame perfect.
He has more experience using that method than the amount of experience I've had with that.
Essentially, what is happening is that those moving blocks are supposed to crush and kill Simon, but they are abusing the invincibility frames that they take from that bat that they manipulate.
Yeah, that cuts out a whole cycle of those rising blocks right afterwards. It saves about 10 seconds. I remember the day when the fear was that glitch would kill this game, basically, but now these guys are just doing it like it's nothing in a marathon race.
Well, there actually is a faster way of doing that that is not thought to be RTA viable right now. It involves jumping and keeping the camera locked in place,
And
by
then
the time the camera catches up, you zip.
it is possible to save a little bit of time after the Coronat, the stage 4 boss fight, if you're able to jump and grab the orb off one of the rising platforms, but that's not consistent because you have to get lucky with where the platform is before it disappears in order to make the jump.
So I had to deal with a dropping flea man there. Lost about a second from that.
And there's no boss, but you have I like to think of it, the boss is the time limit because you get a very short time limit compared to the rest of the game. And the harpies that both of them are past now have some randomness, the spawn patterns.
Yeah, there are too many obstacles. They'll be taking as many damage boosts as they can, and we do have time for a few donations on the stage.
Okay, we have a $20 donation from Ender314, who says, love CV4, let's do some moonwalks, save the brains, kill the animals.
Got lucky there with that harpy. Was able to kill him there.
$20 donation from Rising Fan. Furious Paul's dedication to CV4 is unparalleled, and it's great to see him at AGDQ. Good luck to him and all the runners, and thank you for supporting such a great cause.
So even though there's no boss at the end of stage 5, then you still get a health refill. Take all the damage boosts. In stage 6, they're actually entering Dracula's castle.
Alright, so we both did the first part of stage 6 good. The chandeliers, of course, if you guys have seen this run, you guys know that Joe D'Amelio got a 1-cycle chandelier, and I end up dying to the chandeliers, and then I end up doing a 3-cycle. So I lost a tremendous amount of time dealing with the chandeliers. Yeah, it really did surprise me too. It's like as soon as I fell down, right there, it was really shocking. Like, wow, that just happened.
What Joe just did there is arguably the hardest thing to do in this speed run, one cycling the chandeliers.
And each cycle that the chandeliers swing back and forth takes, I believe, 4.5 seconds. And just making it through in the absolute minimum number of swings.
Yeah, so that put me like a minute and 45 seconds behind Joe.
Tightest platforming.
That death there.
That looked very hard.
And then the fact that I did a 3 cycle afterwards.
So with Paul, the penalty for dying in the chandelier room is pretty steep too, because you go all the way back to the beginning of 6-1, along with losing the cross. There is a secret.
The reason why I ended up doing a 3 cycle is because this jump here is really important, and I didn't feel confident with it enough, so I didn't bother to do this jump here. Like, Simon kind of nudged backwards when I was getting ready to make a jump, and I felt very uncomfortable about that. So, I mean, I was gonna try to do a 1 cycle again, but since I had that fumble there at the second chandelier, I decided to just do a 3 cycle. Unfortunately, that was really, really bad. The rest of the run, though, for me is pretty good, actually. I did a good job of getting back on track, and everything else is pretty solid. Nothing major.
So Paul picked up the cross and then just used it on a lot of the candles to build up his shot counter for getting the triple shots.
It's a very tight section that Joe just did right there, using the whip and the cross to take a damage boost through that section.
And depending on how much damage you take from the clip through the coffins, this last part of stage 6 might be a little scary because you might be in danger of dying if you get a bad spawn from the ghost dancers, but Joe is riding pretty comfortably there. The stage for the 6 boss, that was it.
That was it. Really fast boss fight.
Just with the triple cross, along with the fact that they're moving towards you, and they'll just keep getting hit by the cross until they die, basically.
Got the swag back kill there. Happy about that, because I don't get that every time.
A little bit of randomness at the start of stage 7 with that knight at the foot of the stairs. Ideally, he would just go all the way to the left, so you wouldn't have to stop or take damage going through.
Stage 7 is where the difficulty really starts ramping.
Yeah, so we're both just coasting along right now. I don't think neither of us made any mistakes for a while. I got these coffins really, really good.
Okay, we have a $75 donation from Trip 82.
Really nice coffins.
Castlevania run all day. Good luck, riders. A big thanks to everyone involved, all the staff helping out.
Joe got the high axe, lost a little bit of time there.
Also,
I end up getting a low axe.
So, depending on which, whether the axe knight at the start of the screen throws his axe high or low, which is random, you can take a boost off of it to get onto that hook or leave it, like Joe got the right pattern.
That ghost was a little annoying there. Hey, Shin David, did I sleep right before the run? Yeah, I slept pretty good.
So here we're gonna
I felt
see that
pretty energetic for the run.
That's good because it helps.
Not really any issues.
The gimmick with these
I was able to bypass that knight there and not lose any time there.
Standing, when one of them goes under you, it'll push you up into the spikes and you'll die, so you just need to get a really tight dock in order to avoid that.
That's a perfect section there.
I look drained. I always look drained. I'm always like looking tired. I don't know why.
Sir Grakel here. This fight. Sir Grakel is one of the few bosses that actually is somewhat dangerous, and Paul got the low axe. So
Yeah, so we got the low axe there. I was able to save a little bit of time there.
Low in stage 7. There's a few attacks that Grable can do that might be able to hit you. Alright, now it's time for stage 8.
Anything you see here that has spikes on them will kill Simon.
Yeah, I had a little mistake there. I didn't mean to crouch and whip the knight. It was just a little mistake. I didn't whip that knight there because I jump over him, save my health for the boss.
The Japanese version is exactly the same as the North American version as far as
Joe had a really good stage 8. We both opted out to not doing the crusher jump. We both decided not to do that. Although it was going through my mind to go for it during the run, but I decided not to do it.
Definitely not worth going for.
And that little pause that Joe just did right there despawned a second boat dragon. Nice Triforce by Paul, too.
Joe started going back up the steps there for some reason.
Shutters have done
Joe got the stair jump. We both got the stair jump there. That's good. No one died at the stair jump.
Landing on the second by holding up, let him skip a cycle on those moving spike rushers too. But now we're coming up on the worst part of stage 8 though. After just all this kind of tight movement through the spikes, then we have what's called the Vegas Bridge, which is a randomly reappearing bridge. Nice. Pretty good pattern.
Can't believe Joe went for this Vegas
Joe went all
bridge.
in, too, as far as taking, or as
That's
far
like a
as
25% chance of a death
across the bridge faster.
that he took there.
Is that if you get a bad pattern, you
But
get-
he's still, even if he would have died, he would still be way ahead of me. So it's probably all right that he made that choice there.
While opting out of the one frame jump too. It's a pretty minor time save. But if you miss it, you die.
Yeah, this is still anyone's race.
I probably should have went for the Vegas bridge too, actually, but it's still like a 25% chance of a death. It's too much.
So very recently in stage 9, it used to be, this was just a very lengthy stage. Not a whole lot to as far as hard execution, but we have recently discovered a few tricks that we know that you might see.
I think 2Cat put a lot of work into making safer setups for the, especially the spike jump. Is he currently the only other runner besides these two that has a 31?
That is correct.
Yeah, so I took the Vegas bridge safe, just waited for the next cycle.
These jumps over these crumbling blocks are a little awkward too because of all the lag when they disappear. Nice Vegas bridge for Paul.
I really wanted to get that early orb.
Vegas bridge bets and
It's not always a guarantee, though.
Like envy about that.
Joe didn't do any spike jump. He just took this safe right here.
But it looks like Joe's opting out of it. He's just going to wait for an extra fault.
I think the whipping method is really, really safe. Like, it's at the point to where it can be done in races, 'cause it's just so consistent.
It's only like a second or two that it saves, and you die if you fail it. So.
Yeah, it's pixel perfect as well, so. And it is.
That's why I did the whipping spike jump method, because it's so consistent.
So they're gonna.
It's like hardly ever fails.
Right here that Drew just went past to despawn the bone dragon that should be here at the top.
Coming up on Zap Bat, the boss of stage 9, which is one of the more technical boss fights in the run, even with the cross, just because after I blew 22 hits,
Joe was not able to get the 20-second hit at the right height, so he lost a little bit of time at Zafbat.
So that when they split the bat, it's kind of at a good height for being able to throw crosses in order to kill the smaller bats. It's kind of basically right after the gets kind of the optimal back kill when he gets there.
Yeah, so I did the whipping spike jump method.
Spike jump, nice.
It's actually not that hard to do. I mean, it does take some execution skill, but it's very consistent.
Two cat setup too.
I was really upset that I didn't get this ring snap here.
Precision.
I got the 2 snaps, but I didn't get to get onto the stairs. I should be able to get to the point where I can get a near 100% success rate in the future. Just need to grind that out some more.
Castlevania clock tower level. Without this music, what
How's
is
it going?
Good.
So many ways to die.
You feel any better?
Primarily falling
Yeah.
or getting knocked off by enemies.
You'll notice that a lot of the enemies have extra health in this stage as well. Just ramp up the difficulty.
Yeah, so my bat fight was okay. I got him at the right height, but it was still slightly slower than what I wanted it to be.
That's a good height.
That last bat was just straggling out over there.
Wow, this is gonna be sad.
I mean, a really good bat fight. They predict the bat and hit a cloud across and all die. So it's a little, could have been a little better, but yeah, Paul definitely picked up some time on Joe there.
What Joe just did right there was take a damage boost so that you could avoid the enemies.
Made more money than I thought last year.
Yeah, that's
I
actually
like that score.
Holy crap.
He gets hit at all.
What are the big things I'll be grinding tonight?
You get knocked off the frame if you get hit.
Gaibon,
Now we're going to be coming up on Monday,
and
which is
I can't remember. I have a list, but I can't remember on top of my head. There's a few things.
so you can get a 1 cycle on it.
Yeah, it's because when it's on the
So
farm,
Joe got a
it's
2-cycle mummy.
the cross coming back to you faster, you just get more hits per cycle.
Are you streaming?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I'll be streaming probably for the next 6 hours or so.
Random within the mummy throws fireballs.
Alright. Well, I gotta get up early tomorrow, so.
I mean, the bandages are ideal just because they're more consistent. The fireballs
Wind down soon. Try to go to bed eventually here in a couple hours.
For the one of them to hit you and knock you away without much you can do about it.
Man, I've been working horrible. I know you're streaming, but anyway, I've been working horrible shifts. Horrible shifts.
So I did everything else in stage A pretty smoothly, not really any issues. End up getting a 1-cycle mummy. Caught back up on Joe a little bit. Even though Joe's like way ahead of me right now. Due to my chandelier mistakes I had earlier. In the stage 3 ring glitch.
The more hearts you have,
2 of the worst things in the run. And I was able to do 3 boosts there at the end of stage A and got a 1-cycle mummy.
the crumbling bridge creates a lot of lag.
So my stage A was pretty solid.
As well, a nice pattern for Paul. See if he gets the 1 cycle. Nice.
Nice.
1 cycle. And the hit detection for the crumbling stairs is a little wonky sometimes too. Because if they fall through after landing on these stairs, then they die basically because they can't get back up there.
Coming up at the top of the stairs, you're going to get boss number
There's not really a whole lot to say here.
Joe trying to stack crosses
Um,
so that as soon as this hitbox becomes connected, hopefully there will be 3 crosses causing damage per cycle.
Developed by old school SCV4 Pablo a number of years ago. This fight is so cool looking. The build. So much faster than the way you're intended to fight him. Just like 1 hit per cycle, basically. Nice.
Joe got a 7-cycle Sargra. Really solid on that.
Part of the routing to involve getting into the slow growth
Hey, look, yeah, I had a good time at Awesome Games Done Quick. It was really fun,
Jump off after his spear breaks, and he's
like
taking
always.
damage.
I did a ring snap there. A ring glitch there. It doesn't really save a whole lot of time though.
That one's really difficult.
And Gaimon is much easier than Slowdra. It's kind of a similar fight to the Ghost Dancers in stage 6, where he's having the crosses follow Gaimon's movement so that he's constantly taking damage.
It used to be that that fight was a lot more intense with some punch. The setup.
Nage Belmondo, I believe.
Joe had an extremely fast death fight.
Nice.
I don't think I've ever killed Death in a run at that point right there. Joe does an extra whip at Death that I don't do. I might have to start doing that extra whip. I just felt like I was not consistent with it before, but maybe I should practice it again. Joe ended up getting, now probably one of the most like really bad RNG things throughout the entire run was the fact that Joe got a really good 6-cycle Drac. Drac behaved very nicely for Joe. But then I had a really horrible Drac fight. I had an 8-cycle Drac with really bad RNG, and on top of that I even had some execution errors.
Because he's taking out his teammates.
So that was probably the third worst thing that happened in the run, was that my Drac fight was just really shitty.
The attacks that Dracula does per cycle are scripted based on how much health he has, but his teleport patterns, for the most part, are random, except for I think the 4th teleport, and he spawns directly on top of you. And his 6-cycle Drac is the optimal kill.
Yeah, Joe still killed Death like half a second faster than I did.
And then time will be when Joe gets the orb.
So Joe had a nice 6-cycle Drac,
After Drac dies.
and then I had like a really bad 8-cycle Drac. A lot of it had to do with bad RNG, but I also had some execution errors as well
Joe, you've never heard
at Drac.
these races. It's all
Time.
Yeah, this Drac fight is so bad it's funny.
Falls Drac fight.
It's so bad it's funny.
6 cycles is the optimal Drac.
First cycle was good, but this is where the problems start. I got hit there. That was a bad execution error on my part. That cycle wasn't so bad. Then I had some bad RNG right here. I got knocked back by the fire. And then that fire was in the way. I couldn't get back there in time to get any hits off. I got hit by that orb. That cycle sucked. I missed a whip there. I couldn't finish the fight off here. End up getting an 8-cycle. It's really, really bad. Really embarrassing Drac fight. It was just a handful of bad RNG and execution errors, all added up to an 8-cycle Drac.
Yeah, give it up for our runners, Joe and Paul. These are 2 of the best runs we've seen in this marathon, so it's pretty good stuff. I'm sure it's,
Commentary was pretty good, I thought, on the couch. Thing was alright. I mean, even a 34-minute run's really good for the game. But losing like over a minute and a half due to chandeliers, and losing another 10-15 seconds at the ring on stage 3.
What were the times?
And losing 10 seconds at Drac. That was the worst of my run.
Everyone, one more time, can we hear it for Furious Paul and Joe D'Amelio? Great race.
Alright, so that was that. It's good. Good race. I guess it wasn't all that great of a race considering